Hello everyone and welcome to Teen Voice. Teen Voice is a show run by BHS students which helps to give them the opportunity to discuss issues of interest to the high school community. I would like to introduce tonight's panelists. Shailene Garcia, class of 28, Julianne Magrain, class of 2026, and Bella Rizella, class of 2028. And I will be tonight's moderator, Robert Krieg. In this episode, the students have decided to discuss the topic of AI, artificial intelligence. Our discussion will include how AI has integrated itself into our everyday lives, how AI has helped to evolve technology, and the effect it has had on teens and social media, as well as various other topics. AI is not a new technology, but it has progressed in ways that may raise some concerns if left unmoderated. With all of this in mind, let's jump right in. The first question, it's been described in many ways and taken on many forms, but what do you think AI really is?
Juliana?
Sorry.
No, I'm not good.
So I think AI is kind of a broad name for what this is, because what we are talking about here is generative AI, which will synthesize information as opposed to a Google search, which will just give you the information flat out. Which will just give you the information flat out. Instead here, it will like kind of put it into essentially what is like a word blender and like give you back the information in a more like concise paragraph instead of you, the searcher, I guess, having to like search and peck for all of these, like the answer to your question.
I think AI is basically, it just collects a bunch of data from a bunch of different places and then compiles it into one answer or one output. So it has multiple inputs and then it transfers into an output based on the user's description and request. Sorry. But yeah, I overall think AI is just a way to organize data through multiple different databases, given through the interweb or the data set that it's given.
I agree with what both of them said because it's very, I feel like it's correct. It's like how I would probably word it. So, yeah.
Okay. ChatGPT was introduced as a tool for information and assistance. It has found its way into schools, workplaces, and everyday life. How do you think that it's impacted the world in general? Specifics.
I think we can see a very tangible impact of it if you go to the gas station and see like, oh, our gas is like $7. The plans for the war in Iran were like proven to be drafted up by ChatGPT and stuff. But I think on a more like grounded level, in a way that like affects people like you and I was at press the other day and I was listening to these three ladies like chit chat about like, things, and I heard this one lady go, oh, it's my friend's birthday and I asked ChatGPT for some options for birthday presents and it just kept giving me the wrong answer. And it's like, well, then why don't you use your brain? But I think that it's trying to give us like easier answers that we want to hear to complex problems and stuff, which could be something like an essay, or it could be like, what do I get my friend for their birthday? It's trying to like, I'm not doing a good job, but it's trying to like synthesize what we want to hear.
Did they actually ChatGPT the war plans?
Yeah.
Where do you hear that from?
I saw it a couple months ago, I think on like CNN or something.
That's kind of crazy. Oh, anyway, I think ChatGPT, like especially in society, especially with this generation, I feel like it's been kind of used for more selfish advantages. Like, you know, if I want an image made, I just type it into my little computer, and like in 3 seconds I get that image. I can only do 2 images unless we have ChatGPT Premium, but I refuse to pay for that. Other than that, how does it impacts the world after its release? I feel like AI has been around for like a lot longer than people think. So like I guess it's kind of more impacted the cultural aspects of the world so far. So yeah, I think it's changed how we're gonna see the world in a couple of years looking back. And yeah, I mean, crazy how they used it for that, but yeah. I feel like there is advantages of it, and it's certainly going to be like an aspect looking back a couple of years. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, like I used AI that time.
I feel like people mainly use it for just like, they use it as a tool just for like quick benefit that thinking isn't really needed. So I feel like it's impacted the world to pretty much, you could just type in what you want and they'll give you like ideas or like answers where people won't need to think. So it's kind of, I feel like, taking away some thinking. So
as someone who's a high school senior right now, I'm watching my friends get ready to prepare to go to college and prepare for the next phase of their lives and stuff. And I'm watching the send-offs page and it goes like, oh, XYZ is going to University of Massachusetts Amherst for nursing, and then I see them in class like doing their work and it's all like ChatGPT like kind of slop and stuff, and that has kind of worried me a little, because how are you going to be a doctor or a nurse or a lawyer or a functioning member of society when you're not like using your brain for tasks, like tasks when it comes to school and stuff. And I don't think that we're going to see the effects of that immediately and stuff. I think it might be a little farther down the road, but that is something that I've kind of seen, how ChatGPT affects like my everyday life and how it might affect the world after its release.
Yeah, that's kind of concerning, the nursing student using ChatGPT. That would be funny though, just going into like imagine going to the doctors and like you're saying your symptoms and then they pull up, you see ChatGPT in the corner. Yeah. And they're just typing in the symptoms, ChatGPT. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's a concern too, but I guess like it's only for like certain jobs. Like I don't think it's like more of like what's it called, like blue collar job. Blue collar or like I think hard like labor jobs, you know. Like I know ChatGPT can do like factory jobs, but like are they going to be out there in like the coal mines, you know? So I don't know. I feel like it's kind of interesting, just how it's going to affect. I feel like it's going to affect more places than others, but yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely made our way into each other's lives. I mean, look at the background right there. I feel like that also could be a little, you know, techie. Kind of hints what we're talking about, right?
Before books and encyclopedias and reputable websites were the way for students and researchers to get information. However, AI has become a tool that centralizes a lot of the process. How is using AI different from traditional research methods? You guys started to talk a little bit about that a moment ago.
A couple months ago, I saw a study that cited that Google's Gemini AI, which is integrated into search platforms and stuff, is right 91% of the time. And you hear that statistic, you're like, 91% of the time, that's pretty good. Except it's not, because if you're looking something, like Google gets so many searches a day and stuff. Probably within the like over six figures, right? And if only 91% of them are accurate, that can lead to dangerous misinformation. And I think that these sort of AI hallucination, like outputs can be pretty dangerous when it comes to research, because you're trying to get your facts, you're trying to get your statistics and stuff. You're trying to understand things. And if you're understanding something that is false or made up or outdated, then you're not really researching, you're not getting the correct information, and that will overall like hurt your critical thinking skills and your like project as a whole.
And also, AI isn't like necessarily like a research method. Like, you can't get your data from AI. You can organize data with AI, and that's what AI does. But if I were to like be in a debate with somebody and they're like, oh yeah, what's your source? I say ChatGPT, whatever I say is going down the drain, because it's not like a real source. There's no like actual study behind it. It's, again, AI is just collecting from different datas, or like from different databases to get the input that you, or to get the output that you want. So when you think about it that way, it's not actually like a factor that you can use during your studies. Like, if you're like lost and you're like, how do I do this? And then you put it into the ChatGPT, and they like give you certain responses. That's not from ChatGPT. Didn't make that up. They got that from somewhere and then mixed it together to create its own output to match your question. So when you're saying that, when you're saying AI has become a tool to like get information, that's only right to a point, and that point is usually not specific enough where it can happen in almost everyday life. If I say, give me instructions for like to make a cake, yeah, I can give you the instructions to make a cake. But if you want like actual data, like statistics and everything, that's not going to be authentic to the actual ChatGPT. So, I mean, in that sense, it's a lot different from traditional methods, because it's not actually like data that you collected or data that you made through research.
I feel like, okay, because when you're looking for research, sometimes you find different things, and I feel like that's also something AI does take away. Like, yeah, it's wrong, but at the same time, I feel like you're gonna learn more from going through books or like websites and like actually reading through it than just reading what AI just found for you, because you'll find maybe something that pertains to the topic, but it's also something that AI might, like, you might look over if AI just gave it to you. But if you're reading like about said thing in like an article or a book or whatever, I feel like you getting to think about it more than just AI telling you what it thinks or what it's like made up, or not made up, but you know, what it's giving you about it. I feel like that is also like a little more valuable than just using AI to find something.
I also think that something that's going into the research part of this is academic integrity to some extent and stuff, and plagiarism. Because, so I had to do a project a little while ago where I was reading a bunch of like peer-reviewed academic sources and stuff and writing a script about them. And I was like going through, and I was like, obviously I read them, but I was synthesizing the information, I was taking it in, I was using some statistics to my part. If I were to give like maybe parts of that to ChatGPT, then that raises some questions into the academic integrity of my work. How much of it did I do myself? How much of it is directly lifted from studies that I'm looking at? How much of it is maybe like unreliable? Although I do think it can be used to maybe like help you start to find sources. Like if you're doing something really overarching and large and you don't know where to start, maybe going to ChatGPT is a good starting point, but then afterwards it's like you probably shouldn't use it. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I mean, I respectfully disagree. I don't think it should even be a starting point. Like, if I want to learn about a topic, my first thing, my first idea shouldn't be like, oh, well, let me go to ChatGPT, because first of all, it can give you statistics and data too, mm-hmm. but you don't know where that data is coming from. And a big problem with the new technology today is actually biased in data. So based on like the programmers or whoever like created the data, it could be full of bias or it could be incorrect. And due to ChatGPT, you don't know where that data is coming from. You just know that it was collected through a database that connected to your question. So due to that, if you want to learn about a topic, you could be getting just, along the right track of an answer that you want, but you actually don't know where the data is fully coming from unless you're like, even if you ask like, hey, where do you get this data? It's coming from a bunch of different places. So it collects what you want. So in that being said, there's obviously, there's a high probability, or not high probability, but a certain probability of bias in that data too, that's not going to be healthy for especially students or researchers to collect too, especially for researchers. If this is going into like an actual document and you get like, biased data, then that's going to taint your work and it's not going to be good. So that's, sorry, but that's where I kind of disagree with that.
I understand.
Okay, since AI has become more popular with students, many teens have begun to use it. How do you as a teenager use it? How do other teens around you use it?
So, everyone says like screw AI until their assignment is due in 20 minutes. And I have certainly been guilty of that on a couple of occasions and stuff. But, and I have seen my other classmates use AI for like more serious, like assessments, like tests or whatever, or timed essays in class. But I feel like that's kind of an uninteresting way to look at it. Look at how teens use AI. Because something that I have seen a bunch of my peers and people just like randomly on the internet do is use ChatGPT as almost a surrogate for a friend or a therapist, or if you really like a show or a certain artist, what is stopping you from using ChatGPT to like pretend to be a character, or AI generate me some new Chappell Roan songs or something? That is a different question, but I think that on the more like therapy and using AI as a friend, the ChatGPT is trained in its code to for two things: blame absorption. So if it gets something wrong, it goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. That's my bad. I'm sorry for that." And also to validate the user at all costs and stuff. So that leads to a positive feedback loop where you are constantly getting told that you are smart, you are special, you are correct, you are unique, you are beautiful from AI and stuff. All of your thoughts and all of your opinions are being validated, and anything that the AI gets wrong is their fault, which can lead to kind of an echo chamber happening and stuff. And so this kind of leads into AI psychosis, which is a very real thing that people have been experiencing and has led to some pretty dangerous consequences. One of which being the shooting of Charlie Kirk. That plan was drawn up through AI psychosis and stuff, where just like more and more dangerous ideas keep getting like funneled until like you're so far deep in you can't see the way out.
Okay, so
I kind of said a lot.
Okay, so yeah, no, I get what you mean. It can be very addictive, or like to how teens use it. I feel like that's it's definitely there. I feel like that's a very small percentage. I'm not gonna, after this, I'm not gonna take off my mic and go onto ChatGPT to talk to somebody. So, but yeah, I do get what you mean. That could be a problem. I think most teens just, like use it normally, I would say.
Yeah.
Like they have a question or they want to create an image or something. That's how they use it too. It's not anything too extreme. I feel like it's just it's a fun,
it's
like
more
new
casual.
It's a fun new thing that you want to try. Like you want to create an image. I'm gonna put like an image in there and say, hey, like make this, and it will do that. So I feel like it's more not for just the entertainment aspect of it, but it is also a I hate to say tool for education, but it really is. if you type a problem in and then you say, hey, please explain this to me, it gives you step by step on how to do it. And that is really good, because I know some people just, they don't click with their teachers, or like they just can't understand in school or anything.
Or like
and
they need a study guide.
They need another source. And I know ChatGPT is not shouldn't be the correct answer, but I think we just people love accessibility and how easy it is to get an answer that you want there. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just, how do teenagers use it? I think it's just we use it like anyone else, how they would use it.
Okay, so I don't really pay attention to other people, so I don't really know how they use it. I don't pay attention to other people's business. If they're not gonna tell me, I won't be snooping.
All right.
But I do have history with AI and stuff, so I have used it before. This was past stuff like 2020, COVID, stuff like that. I used to be that kid on the chat bots, and I used to be on that, and yeah, no, wasn't a good time in my life because I was going through stuff, but I used it to talk to AI, and yeah, no, I don't know if I wouldn't consider it my friend, but probably past me would be oh, this is so cool, I love this. Not anymore, but no, it's it's really addictive. I don't think teens use it casually, but there are people out there who will use it to make it their friend, and then since AI is gonna be positive towards you, and it's gonna treat you like you're right. It's gonna treat you like you're correct, and anything you say to it, it's gonna be yeah. But I don't think it's the best thing to have that so accessible to everybody, especially because people are gonna seek it out when they're going through. Some people are gonna seek it out when they're going through tough times, or some people are just gonna use it and then it's gonna change the way they think, or they're gonna start looking at it differently.
I also think that, bit of a personal anecdote. I have a friend who's really into hockey, men's professional ice hockey and stuff. And she's very passionate about these two players and stuff. And so she got onto this website, Character AI, as you would assume, and made a chatbot that is one of her favorite players, and has been repeatedly talking to it for a while. And I feel to me that raises a question of kind of an ethical concern. If you're using a real person's likeness and speech patterns, or how they speak, how they act, whatever, for a chatbot, or even God for a video or something, what are the ethical guidelines around that? How do you justify that? And obviously this is a bit more of an extreme example that I've seen, but it was enough for me to go start to distance myself from her and go oh.
Well, I hope she's doing better.
I hope she is too.
Shout out. I think that I think a lot of teens are more against AI than people like to think.
Yeah.
Because honestly, AI is just not good in general. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for society. I mean, you can tell it's not good. I think that people more like to assume that since it's new and stuff, that teenagers are going to like it. And to a point, we do like it. But there's also that thing is man, who cares about AI?
Why is it in every single app?
It's just
in Twitter, it's in Snapchat, it's in TikTok, it's in Instagram.
It's in Facebook. Who's using Facebook AI?
I'm not using Grok, bro.
Grok AI.
And it's just getting. I definitely have suffered from the AI fatigue and stuff, where it's just every single app I open. If you pause a TikTok, there's an option for you to chat with the AI chatbot about the video you just watched. And it's just kind of why would I want that? Why would I want that? I understand that it's a new gold rush and stuff, and people are trying to get, or different companies are trying to get in on the ground level and stuff before it blows up to maybe be the next Facebook or whatever. But it just doesn't stick, So
yeah. Yeah, I think that too. It's just, like for the majority, I'm against AI. It's fun in passing. It helps me through stuff. But like when it comes down, like if someone like gave me a button that says like cancel AI, bro, I'm hitting that.
To me, like using AI is something I'm like a little shameful of almost. Like
Me too.
like when I have used it, when I use it for like whatever, I always make sure to do it like by myself or something, because I just
both
feel
ways.
like I feel a little guilty about it, because I know personally the environmental impact of like the data centers and stuff, and also I just know that like it's not like, I'm someone who takes a lot of pride in writing and creating and stuff, and it's not something that really aligns with me morally. It feels more kind of like, it sounds like super dumb, but like a vice more than anything,
Yeah.
Well, to follow up a little bit on this, there are a number of things that kids and adults do that's addictive. And in many cases, their societies set up rules. You can't drink until you're 18, etc. Should there be rules for AI in terms of use?
I definitely do think so. I don't think that it should really be used in like a government setting at all.
Thank you.
I also don't think that AI should really be given to like, it's really good for coding, right? I have a friend who has a Roblox game and stuff, and he codes a lot of it himself, but he also has uses ChatGPT Premium to help him get to where he needs to be, to make sure his code is as good as it can be. But I feel like it kind of shouldn't be as overarching as it is. I feel like, and maybe I have a lot of moral hangups on this, but I also feel like we're losing a part of human creativity when it comes to AI. Why am I walking down the halls and I'm seeing, instead of a Canva poster that was made by a person and it's all pretty, why am I seeing just AI kind of slop and stuff?
AI slop, yeah.
Yeah, and so I do think that it can be like kind of addictive, getting that really easy answer, that really easy dopamine hit, instead of having to do your work or make your make a poster or do your work or learn Photoshop. You get that super easy just like thing.
I would rather see one of the worst drawings my eyes have ever laid upon than having to see an AI drawing or an AI painting, because at least no matter what, you still got the human spirit behind that drawing. Yeah, it's 3 lines in crayon and the crayon broke halfway through, so it's just a jagged line. But I mean, I'd rather see that than like an AI picture of like Beyonce, not. Hey, I didn't mean that, guys. Please, I'm a fan. But anyway, yeah. It's just at the end of the day, like I need some human spirit behind my drawings.
Like there's a sort of genre of like album cover that is like so tacky and like kind of gaudy and stuff. Like I would have to pull it up. I don't know if grabbing my phone, like Trap Story or whatever, like where it's like this Photoshop of like a rapper with like as Buzz Lightyear and stuff, and it just looks like awful and terrible and weird. I would rather 400 of those over an AI generated album cover. Okay, let me look it up real quick.
Pulling up a reference.
You were talking about art and images and videos and music. Do you think that the ability for somebody to say, I want a picture of Beyonce and have it come up is impacting things in a negative or positive way, as the case may be?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I know it's just like easy access, and like the thing is like you can use it to like create an image that hasn't been made before and stuff, and that's all fun too. But if you want an image of Beyonce, just go to Safari and search up Beyonce. Like 20,000 are gonna pop up, you know. So it's just like that thing is like, you know, it's not anything to like call home about or anything, you know. It's just like it's the way I see it. It's just kind of there.
Something.
You know?
Oh, sorry.
No,
Something
it's
I find very interesting though is how specifically like fans interact with AI and stuff, because like if you love Taylor Swift, she has what, like 500 albums, right? That the AI has access to. Who's saying, and you've listened to all of them, who's saying that you can't just go into ChatGPT or like Sora or whatever and go, make me a new Taylor Swift album about, or a new Taylor Swift song about chemistry or whatever, and it will split out and it will spit it out. Like, what, like, that obviously devalues the art, but
Exactly, yeah.
at the same time, like, who is stopping someone from doing that? Why are we, like, we live in an era of like rapid consumption and stuff, and I think that AI is just another example of that. Instead of waiting for an artist to take their time and release an album, instead we're getting like the option to make it on your own without the artist's consent.
Yeah, okay, so I can kind of relate to this a bit more. I am an artist, and I feel AI is really impacting the art field, because if artists don't produce like enough, and it's not just like, you know, physical art, but also like, you know, music or stories, books, anything like that. If an artist doesn't produce like enough or fast enough, people will get impatient and then they'll just like move on. But I also feel like some people will also move on to AI and say they like this person's work a lot. They will just like, oh, generate me this, you know, because they like the person's art, but they're not patient enough to.
But they don't respect their process.
Yes, they don't respect the process. They're not patient enough to wait, because if you like someone enough to like go for their music, buy albums, buy like records or anything like that, I feel like you should also respect how much creativity and how much of themselves artists put into their work, and you shouldn't be jumping to AI just because you want like that dopamine hit and you want to listen to something good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's low-key crazy. I haven't heard about like anyone doing that specifically, but I get what you mean.
I've seen it on like Twitter.
You have seen on Twitter, yeah. I know they're doing that on Twitter, but yeah, yeah, I agreed with that.
Or like,
It's a
no, you
process.
definitely have seen that, because you remember, like, 2024 during the Super Bowl, people were making like AI generated Taylor Swift songs about how she was gonna like
Oh
dump
my
Travis
goodness,
Kelce
yes, I have.
if he lost the Super Bowl, which he did,
POVs.
thank God.
Oh.
Yeah, like,
They're gonna sign me up for that.
yeah. Oh,
But anyway, sorry. Yeah, no, I heard a thing where they're like, when like if an actor dies, they're gonna use them like they're gonna use like an AI version of the movies. I don't want to see that. Like if in like 20 not 20 years, like I don't know, maybe like 50 years, if Robert Downey Jr. or RIP, he's still alive, but I don't know, just in case. If I see him in a movie with like, I don't know, like Kylie Jenner's offspring, I'm gonna turn that off, you know.
or it's like those very weird posts of like like older celebrities like hugging their younger version of themselves and
Yes.
stuff, and it's like, and all the comments are like, oh, this is so heartwarming, but it's still using a real life person's face and likeness and voice, and most times using it for profit, which causes a lot of concerns within the copyright field. Like, to use another Taylor Swift example, she just copyrighted her own voice, and like it was something weird. Like, she copyrighted her voice and how she appears on stage to stop AI from like profiting off of her own image.
You know, good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, good for her. I had something to say about that. I like you forgot. Yeah, no, I feel like that's really interesting. I didn't know that she did that. That's crazy.
All right, move on actually pretty much to the end. AI has been criticized for taking jobs away from people, with it becoming more advanced each year. Are there any thoughts on how it could be governed and or regulated? And how do we integrate AI into our current life so that we can proceed?
I think it's just like, I feel like just companies are just so greedy. Like they just want to use AI instead of, instead of employees, because, they're like, oh, it's going to cost less, I don't have to pay these employees. But yeah, what's going to happen down the road? What, you just turn completely AI and what only you are running it? Like, you need employees in your business. So I just think it's just like it's such like a selfish thing that's not going to last them. Like, it's in the end, it's employee loyalty that like keeps a company going. So it's just like every time I see it, it's like, oh yeah, we just fired all 20,000 of our employees and they don't have anywhere to go, but at least we're saving money. It's like, you're a multi-million-dollar company. I don't think you need to be saving $29.99 a year or however. So it's just, I think it's just a thing that, people just need to stay in jobs, and I think it could be regulated just by like having something that makes them not fire employees for AI.
And also from a consumer perspective, it like using AI kind of cheapens the overall experience. A couple months ago, I got banned off of Snapchat. And very unfortunately for me, Snapchat had fired all of their customer service, their help desk people and stuff, and replaced it with an AI chatbot. And so I spent like 2 days going back and forth with this chatbot, trying to figure out, how can I get my account back? How can I do this? How can I do that? And getting just stonewalled, like brick wall, no answers, nothing that like would help me. And what I needed was a real person to go like, oh, I see your issue, let me talk to you, let me have that conversation and stuff. And so that, like, from that experience for me, going back and forth with that AI, cheapened my experience with the brand. And I think like if that sort of philosophy of cost cutting and replacing like human interaction with AI continues, it will bite a lot of companies in really unfortunate ways.
Exactly. I mean, to get these glasses, making an appointment, I had to talk to a chatbot for about maybe an hour, because it was like, oh, what date you want your appointment? And I was like, oh, this date. They're like, oh, sorry, unavailable, but we do have appointments on this date. I said, okay, I'll take this date. Oh no, it's unavailable, I'm sorry. It was like, so just going back and forth with the robot. And it's so frustrating too, because I'm just trying to see in general, I'm just trying to see. And then over here, this one, just playing in my face, talking about some, oh yeah, whoops, we don't have that date too.
The redundancy.
The redundancy
that
is
could
crazy.
just be avoided if like a company was willing to spend just like $15 an hour.
Yeah, $15 an hour for the customer just to be. I know I could have taken 10 minutes to make the appointment, but instead I missed my lunch break because I was over here trying to make an appointment. So yeah, it's disappointing.
I feel like it should be governed because, like Juliana said earlier, that with what the Iran thing that they drafted that with AI. I don't think AI should be in the government at all. I think that is very dangerous, two, kind of stupid, not gonna lie. And yeah, no, I don't think it also should be in okay, because I think I would rather talk to someone who's very mean, in customer service. I'd rather talk to someone who's mean. Okay, they could bully me all they want, than AI, because I'd rather have that human connection, somebody who understands at least a bit, that human experience. Because we've all been there when we're trying to call up something, something's not going right. You're trying to call someone, customer service, or their representative, and trying to, get something fixed, or, something's happening, you need to talk to somebody. You'd rather talk, I feel like many people would rather talk to an actual person who understands, that experience, than AI who's just, knows of the experience, but like also at the same time they don't because they've never went through it because they're not, you know, a person, a human. They're not any of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you said. It's just the human experience. Like, I would have a much memorable time if like I just got yelled at by an employee. Like, you know, if I just walked into like the local Waffle House or IHOP, and local Waffle House or IHOP, I just sat down and like an employee was mean to me. I love that, you know, like better than like a robot. Have you seen those? Like
Well,
the
that
robot,
gives you like something to talk to.
that gives
talk about,
something
you know?
to talk
like,
about. Have you
why
seen
was
those
that
robots that come in and take your order too? I'm pushing that thing over. Have you not seen that?
No, I have not.
No, it like rolls up to your table and it's like a screen. It's like, hi, how can I help you? And you have to like put in your order there. Like, no, I need connection. I need someone. I just need someone to know how much I'm ordering and how much I'm gonna spend at my IHOP. I need someone to like know I'm getting three stacks of pancakes and I'm eating all of it in front of them. You know, like I can't have that same experience with a robot. I have to.
It's the connection.
The robot you
They
can't
go
even.
home and talk about that with their friend. Like, oh my God, this girl came in and she ate like
Exactly. I love coming home from my job and just telling stories of what happened at my work. And that wouldn't have happened if some AI approached me. Like, AI would never know what I've been through after a 6-hour shift on a Friday night. They never would get those experience, but I have those. So I think it's very good for the human mind to experience that.
Well, I think we've finished what we can talk about today. I personally am very impressed with the panel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had a great time in the discussion. Thank you all for watching Teen Voice. We'll see you next time.